EFL Trophy, the first game. It's a controversial competition. You've acknowledged the reasons behind that, but for Carlisle United, we have to play it. It's a game. We want to win it.
Yeah, I mean, from a club point of view, we've always been consistent with it. We value the competition as a club. We think it's important. Financially, it's important, and we've been honest about that. And also, it's a chance to get towards Wembley, which the club's had a great record of. So why wouldn't you treat it seriously? Well, now, obviously, we know that for some fans, the presence of the B teams, as they're labelled, the academy teams from Category 1, is controversial. There's no escaping from that. It's a Marmite competition. You either love it or hate it. There's not much middle ground. But from a club point of view, it's our first competitive game of the season, and it's one we want to see us win and play well and do well in. Get us off to a good start. It's not from where we're looking at. It's not another pre-season game. This matters, and we've got to start well. And I think everybody will be trying their best. So we're really excited about getting back to football. It seems a hell of a long time since we've had any games, doesn't it? I mean, it's just so it's great, and I think we need to embrace it. I think why shouldn't we try and go out and win?
Great chance to test the iFollow service. We've just spoken about that, but are we ready as a club for? I know there's no fans, but we've still got to stage a game in a very restrictive environment. Are we ready? Have we reached all the protocol limits?
Yeah, we got the official sign off this morning from the EFL. We've put our plans in place. They've all been signed off as acceptable, so that's really good. It's going to be very different. It's very restrictive. The stadium will be going into lockdown essentially from 2 o'clock on Tuesday. So that means nobody on site who is not a cleared individual, as they're termed, and it's restricted access passes, red zones, amber zones, and all this kind of stuff for the game. And it'll be a good opportunity for the admin side of the club again to test itself and make sure that we're ready to go. So that's good, but we're all set now.
Genuine request to the fans, isn't it? It might be tempting just to wander down and try to soak up a bit of the atmosphere. Please don't come into the COVID secure environment.
Yeah, I think all the fans that we've had interactions with and we speak to, I think they really understand it, and they've been really, really helpful and supportive about the way they've dealt with us as a club and the situation. The shop will still be open in its normal times, but we'll have barriers onto the area to stop people coming in. All the entry points around the ground all be manned by stewards, so there'll be nobody to get on, and it is essentially a secured zone for the game.
Just finally, Nigel, it is exciting. It'll be exciting again when we're allowed to get the limited numbers in, but the real excitement will come when everybody's back and we're all the Blue Army once again.
It will, and that could be happening. Well, it could be happening much sooner than we thought. I mean, we talked about things changing really quickly. I think we were here sat doing this interview and an update last Friday at about 3 o'clock, and you were preparing it to go out in the evening, and I got an email, and at that time we were looking at perhaps Barrow being our first game, and us having one previous league game without any fans in. I went home, and then we get a note saying, it might be getting brought forward. So things change. Things are changing all the time. I said last week that I hope to be able to say, right, it's going to be a 20 game season. Here's how much it's going to cost, so we could move on to taking the final step and dealing with the payments for season tickets, etc. Since then, things have been a little bit thrown up in the air because things could be really accelerating. So hopefully next week we'll have even better news about when fans can get in. Obviously there's test games taking place around the British Isles, so hopefully that'll be a signal that we can get fans in really soon. So I think next week's the drop deadline for us. We'll form a view, and then that's it. probably middle of next week.
And I said finally, but that, just to confirm, that'll be when you decide what the payment will be and how we'll go
Yeah,
about the process.
yeah. I mean, that's dead right. And when we started off, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, well, it was actually in July. The Prime Minister said fans in games from mid-October. We got the fixtures and we could see roughly where our mid-October line was. So that was then looking at about 20 games. It then kind of moved, and suddenly Barrow becomes a live game for fans to potentially come into. And now we're looking to see whether it could be even sooner than that. So it is really live, and I've tried to explain to the fans that when we make decisions, we're trying to leave it so we get the get the maximum chance of getting them right, and we've got to push it and push it and push it. And the fixtures and the timing of games is a prime example of how things can accelerate really quickly.